right, welcome to That's Gross, your favorite hockey podcast. I'm Mike. I got Jake with me. I got JB to talk the Stanley Cup Final.
What's up, boys?
What we doing? How we doing? JB, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Enjoying it so far. It's been fun to talk about, and honestly, just watch. The series is going to be unreal, and it's kind of proving to be, I think, what we thought. So we'll get into it, though, but I'm doing good, boys. Mike, how are you?
Hell yeah. I forgot to say my, hey, how are you? I'm doing well. I mean, I had a lot of fun. I'm canceling plans to watch these games, boys. I just want you to know. Guys are asking me to skate in their men's league, play net, play out. They're just begging for me, but I'm like, game 4 is on. I have to watch it. So, yeah, I'm doing well. I'm excited. So, let's just start at the beginning with this, right? I mean, we haven't talked since the series even started. So, game 1 obviously went to Edmonton, and it was a back and forth game. Any takeaways from that game? Draisaitl overtime winner. My thoughts after that was like, incredible start to the series for Edmonton, obviously. So, Jake, I mean, obviously a lot has changed since then, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of replicated what Edmonton's been doing this whole playoffs is come from behind, win, late goal to tie it, and then just a masterclass by Connor and Leon to finish it off. Incredible start for Edmonton. That was exactly what they needed, especially what happened last year, going down 0-3 and then tying it. You win game 1, you win that series. So I think that's huge. Those first 2 games in Edmonton, I think, were 2 of the best hockey games I've ever watched. Just so action-packed, so many highlight reel goals, so much drama. Got a little bit of the Brad Marchand, Brad Marchand, and just an absolute difference maker in the finals. You love to see it.
We're gonna have to get into some Brad Marchand talk.
Yeah,
as a Bruins podcast here.
It's been very exciting.
Yeah. Obviously that first game was decided on a pretty bad penalty in overtime. And since then it's been all Panthers. So JB, I mean, talk to me, kid. Like, what are your thoughts on this Panthers team? I know you want McDavid, and we all do, right? But
anything but Florida, boys. Anything but Florida. Jake, actually agree with you. I think that it was obviously a really good start for Edmonton, and I think I brought it up in the last pod that we did, kind of the intro into this Cup final. Obviously, we know what situation they were in last year, and I had said it, if they could try to get a game early, it could change things a little bit, just put them in a different spot. Obviously, you're up a game and not going down 3 right away. So, I love that first game. The whole series so far has been unreal. But yeah, if we're kind of sticking on game 1 right now, the 2 of those guys, Draisaitl I picked as the winner for the Conn Smythe, so I was happy when he was off to a hot start. But yeah, it's been sick so far. I don't think anyone can really have any complaints, just with what's going on and the skill that we're seeing out there.
yeah, I mean, just what you said about getting the first win. It's kind of like, even just in a game, you got to score first against Florida, right, boys? I mean, holy shit. I mean, you see the stat, Paul Maurice, I think they're 31-1 if they're leading after any period.
Yeah, and that was game 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, you're not coming back really against that team. I mean, maybe McDavid and Draisaitl can, but
I think the Oilers are the only team that could do it. And still, it's not a position you want to put yourself in.
yeah, I mean, what happened last year? Yeah, they came back, but didn't quite finish it. So, yeah, I mean, let's just get right into Brad Marchand, boys. I mean, I want to ask you guys, like, how do you even feel as Bruins fans, as guys who loved Marchand at this point? We've talked about it a little bit, but should they give us another first round pick? I mean, obviously it sucks. Like, we're watching former captain of the Bruins, almost win the cup for another team. But are you guys happy for him? Where do you stand, Jay? Where do you stand, Jake?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty bittersweet. Like, obviously, like the trade like happening doesn't make me have any feelings differ from Brad Marchand. Like, I still love him, always be a part of my childhood. Some of the happiest moments of my life have come from watching him wear a Bruins jersey. So I'm extremely happy he's doing well. But like, yeah, it's definitely like hard to see him do it for this Panthers team and not for the Bruins. I don't know if you guys saw, I think we sent it in the chat, but that video that's kind of going around of him in game 5 of the first round on the breakaway.
Dude, that was
and then it just
sick
cues to him scoring on the breakaway for Florida. It's just like, dude, I almost shed tears. Like, it was a tough watch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so much could be different, man. So much could be different. Do you feel different, JB, if because it's kind of unknown what happened with the trade? Like, we weren't behind the closed doors. We know what they said. They said it was money, and then the Bruins came up with the idea. Would you guys feel different about Brad Marchand if he was like, yo, like, we're not doing it, like, you're not paying me enough, send me to Florida? Like, if he initiated it, does that change how you feel about him?
You're saying if he had no like plans on re-signing at all, like he wanted to go somewhere else, or it's just the money?
Yeah, like if he was the one who was requesting a trade essentially to the Panthers, because it is known that he said he was going to the Panthers, or he said he wanted to.
I mean, it wouldn't change anything that he's done. Like, definitely would like be pretty heart wrenching to like know that he was like, I don't want to be in Boston anymore. Send me to the team that's knocked us out of the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
but obviously, I don't think that's the case. I think we all know that's not the case. He loves Boston. He's said before he plans on living here for his post career.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sold. JB, what do you
sold? Really? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I definitely think it changes my opinion a little bit on the situation. I think obviously you'd want a guy like that that's had success here, and obviously he's been the one that's capitalized on opportunity, but the Bruins gave him an opportunity. So respecting that, I get it. Obviously, you know, as you get older, I would imagine you just want to win even more every single year. But the reason I started this off with just being different is like you look at where that team was last year compared to like at the end of Bergeron's career. Like it is just so different in a sense of like maybe, you know, he was in that room and he's looking at the roster and just future plans of the team. Like, do you think he really thought of himself in that lineup for years to come? Because like the Bruins themselves are in such a different spot right now where it's like they're trying to get the youth in. This is like the next era. So I don't think it changes too much, to be honest with you. Obviously, Jake said it. You got to respect what he's done for the city and the team, the culture, and everything. And I think in the grand scheme of things, I don't want to see him win, but I'm happy to see him playing meaningful hockey. And because this is what Brad Marchand was bred for, boys. We've seen it. I mean, this is unreal. Like, doesn't matter how old the guy gets, he's still tearing it up. But Mike, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I've had some conversations with my dad. My dad grew up as a pretty big Bruins fan. He doesn't watch them as much anymore, but obviously, I'm assuming your guys' parents put you on to the game. It's usually how it happens. He feels very strongly. He's like, he's almost on the fuck Marchand train. He completely hates Sam Bennett. I think if he saw Sam Bennett in public, he might try to shank him, or I mean, he'd lose that fight, but I think he might do it. But
damn, have some confidence in your pops, hey?
How many rounds would you give him? You think he gets out of round 1 with Bennett?
In a fist fight, or does he have a knife?
Your dad has a knife. Bennett's got nothing but fists.
Okay, my dad has a knife, and Sam Bennett just has his fists.
Is he quick with the hands? Do you think he could move that knife around or no?
Not really.
Just pop a shoulder out or something?
I mean, Bennett's probably going to throw a cheap shot. Like Bennett doesn't need a weapon. We've seen it, in this playoff. So I'd say maybe he lasts like 17 seconds, and that's if he catches him, not suspecting. But yeah, I'm more on the train of like Jake, what you were saying. I love Brad Marchand, and JB, what you just said too, of just where the Bruins are going. Like they want to compete next year, but they're retooling. And when you retool, there's no guarantee you're going to be in the playoffs next year. Never mind where the Panthers are right now. Like, again, JB, what you just said, Marchand does deserve to have this. Like he's loving this dude, and anybody would. So no hate to him. I mean, it is tough to watch. It's definitely bittersweet. But my main thing is like I just think the Bruins, they need to get somebody else in that trade. Like we should be able to go back and be like, come on, Bill Zito, if you win the cup, what should the Bruins get? Like what's a realistic ask? We have no leverage. The trade's already done. But I don't know.
Can't believe they didn't implement anything like that into that trade, honestly. I feel like it was just so last minute and so like half-assed thrown together. Like that's why.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think in a way it's like you're helping.
Just like panicked.
I think you're helping Marchand, like you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
He wants to go to this team, so we're going to take anything. But he's a hell of a player, right? Like, how many guys like him have been traded at a deadline? A leader, a veteran, a guy who plays like Brad Marchand was a steal for the Florida Panthers.
Like, there's been some, but it's like more so the name. Like, I haven't seen a big name come up as big as he has for anybody, honestly. Like, I can't think of a single one.
He might be the best trade deadline addition.
Yeah, I'd put money on that, honestly. I mean, might not be the biggest name, but like biggest impact, absolutely. I mean, this guy can win the Conn Smythe if they win.
I was actually going to bring that up.
Like, right now, I think it's between him and Bennett. Like,
yeah, it probably
damn close.
But there's 5 games, well, potentially 4 games left, so you never know. But he's scored in the first 3 games of this thing. We're not just talking about him because we're a Bruins podcast. Like he's legitimately lighting it up.
You could argue he's been the best player in this series.
Yeah, you could definitely argue that. But you just led into it with Sam Bennett, and we were talking about my dad fighting him. I don't know how we really got there, but Sam Bennett, that shift, that hit, and then he had another hit, and then he had a breakaway goal. That was legendary. I mean, that's playoff hockey. Like, we had the discussion about Mitch Marner and paying this guy. I mean, I don't care what he does in the regular season. Like, if that guy's doing that shit, who else is playing like that? Like, nobody, really.
No, yeah.
You know? I mean, name me a player on any other team outside of the final who could do that or who is doing that. Can either of you do that? No.
No, I mean, yeah. The hands on the goal too. Like honestly, it was a sick goal. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have Twitter notifications from Elliot Friedman on, and unfortunately, it hits a little quicker than my TV is. So like I happen to see like Bennett breakaway goal. So like I knew it was coming, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh, like damn, like wasn't expecting that, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He honestly probably will get 10 million. I think the Leafs are going to make a huge push at him.
And JB, just jump in at any point here too, by the way, but I don't see him going anywhere.
I don't either. And also I think it's the best thing for him to stay, especially like no state tax in Florida. Like you take 8 million in Florida versus 10 million in Toronto. Like that's about the same thing. And I think it's just, he works so well for that team. Not saying he wouldn't be a huge factor somewhere else and have an impact, but I just don't see it being the same. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just think that scenario with the team they built around him is just so perfect and so ideal for the way he plays. And it's like, I don't know.
I agree. No, I totally agree. I mean, even if he would still be a hell of a player, but he just fits so well. And it's not just about money. Like, yeah, like if they give him 7.5 and he can make 10 in Toronto or St. Louis, like he's on a dynasty. Like, why would he leave?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't see him going anywhere, but okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, so Panthers are up 2-1. Definitely Oilers fans have reason to be nervous right now. This is not a good spot.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, nervous, yes. Definitely wouldn't panic. I mean, that game, too, was about as close as it can come. I think the Oilers easily could be up 2-0. What I will say, though, is I think the Oilers need to win a game in Florida, this next game in Florida, or they're done. Because,
yeah,
it's hard to win in that arena. Florida plays so good at home. And, they go back there for game 6 if it gets there. But I don't know. I just think you need to split. You need to split both of these and then make it a best of 3 and then take it from there.
I agree. I mean, it sounds like an obvious statement, but
yeah, but
I mean, they came back last year and they're not doing it again. And
they only won one game on the road last year, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and Florida's a hell of a home team, but they're also fucking dogs on the road. That's the thing. Like, both those games in Edmonton could have went either way. They could have been up 2-0 Edmonton, but they could have been down 2-0.
Florida could have been up 2-0 too.
Yeah, exactly.
Could have went either way.
And then the game in Florida, they got shit canned. So, what are your guys' predictions for this next game? Obviously, like you just said, you think it's over if Edmonton loses. Do you think you believe in McDavid and Draisaitl here?
Yeah, it's going to be a tighter game. I said it to you, Mike, off air. This last game was not. I kind of was anticipating it. You knew that building was going to be buzzing. Those guys love playing in Florida in front of their fans. So I kind of had a feeling that it was going to go that way. But I could see this next game definitely being just a closer match game. Like, I think you're going to see the response now out of McDavid, Draisaitl. Because, boys, if we're talking about it, they're talking about it. You know that they're in that room saying we cannot lose this next game. Whether they're, actually verbally saying that, or I would imagine most of those guys don't even need to say that. They already know it. So I think you're going to see a very solid bounce back from those guys. They're going to play a much tighter game. I think they're going to just press Florida a little bit more. That was one of my takeaways just from watching the last game, is just the effort to get onto pucks, because that's literally probably the best thing that Florida is. That's one of their key attributes, is their ability to get on loose pucks, which it's just insane. Like, in going back now, you talk about Marchand. I mean, that's why he fits in so well, dude, because I'm putting all my money on Marchand anytime there's a loose puck in the corner.
Don't think he's ever lost a puck battle in his entire career.
It's insane. Like, he always finds a way to get out of it. So that's my personal opinion. I do think you're going to see pushback from Edmonton. I think they're too good, and they just don't want to be in a situation where now they're down again. So it's going to be a fun one this next game.
Yeah, no, it will. And I don't think Edmonton should panic, but the fans have a reason to, because that team in Florida, they're just so fucking good, man. They just don't go away. It's like every single shift, it's like you can get a 2-goal lead. They really can do it all. It's annoying to root against them. That's what we were talking about before, too. It's like, as Bruins fans, it's like, just fucking lose, boys. Like, come on. Don't turn into a dynasty. But now they have Marchand, and it's unreal. I don't know about you guys, but something about this Panthers team, too. It just feels like the 2011 Bees to me,
Yeah. Who's the X factor in that series?
Guess.
Hate to say it, but
Hell yeah.
It's like an airplane right over the trees.
All right. I have a question for you guys. It's not even in this series. Who do you think the hardest goalie to score on in the league would be for you? Like if you suited up. Who do you
literally, yeah, all of them.
Yeah, fair. But like who would be the last guy in your list? Breakaway. You could have 10 breakaways in the guy.
Probably Vasilevsky, dude. Was the first one I thought of. Like he's just such an ogre in the net, dude. I'm honestly curious about that, dude. I would love to be like high slot and just like look at the net because I'm just curious what you even see. Like if he's at the top of the crease, like you're probably not seeing much of any net, which is crazy. But
you're not. I mean, you got to beat him. You got to trick him. Really, they have to get him moving and probably just get lucky. But I saw a hockey podcast clip of someone bringing up a hypothetical of like if you played 82 games in the NHL, like you right now, but they couldn't take you out of the lineup, they couldn't scratch you because obviously they would send you to fucking the lowest league they could, but you're on like the third line. So you're getting like 10, 15 minutes a night. Do you think you would score a goal?
Yeah, I think I could get one.
Yeah. I like the confidence.
I think I could find a way.
Yeah, I mean, I think one's bound to go off your shin pad at some point, right?
Dude, the boys would want it for you so bad too. They'd be chucking pucks at you.
Yeah, just put like McDavid on my line. I'll have like 10.
Well, yeah, you got to play in the third line so you don't get to just sit back door and get a tap in.
Yeah, can it be the Panthers' third line though?
I know, right?
Just play on the wing with Marchand, dude.
Yeah.
The hypothetical was you get $1 billion if you score the goal, but if you don't, you have to pay something. Like you would be taking a risk by even trying it. But the answer is yes. You're gonna say, give that to me all day. You get to live your dream.
That's definitely worth it for sure.
Yeah, you pay like $10,000 if you don't. It's like fuck that. Dude.
I'm already in debt now, and I don't get to play in the NHL. So it's an extra. Just add it to the tab.
The better future plan than going to college.
Yeah, just throwing in my student loans fund, dude. It'll get paid off eventually.
Throw it on the silver card. 100%. Yeah, it's a stupid hypothetical. Obviously,
I liked it honestly.
It's just a fun question to think about. That's why I liked it. And then there was the inverse of it was like that I was imagining was as a goalie, could I stop 10? Like if I had 10 chances to stop Patrick Kane on a breakaway, could I stop him? And I know what you guys are thinking already, but I think I could.
I think you could. He'd probably fumble fuck one of them at least.
You don't think I'd have a shot?
Dude, you'd be on your back, dude, swimming. It'd be crazy. But because I think, honestly, being the goalie, and because like I don't know, I mean goalies are nuts anyways, but I honestly think that that's more fun to talk about. Like imagine being the goalie going up against that skill level. Like these guys now do, like Zegras, Patty Kane's unreal. I can't even imagine like because dude, think about just like highlight reels that we watch. You're seeing the best players ever do this against arguably the best goalies, right? Like that's why they're in the NHL. Yeah. So like to put someone in that hasn't played a super high level of like hockey, and then you have these guys just coming down on you, it's crazy.
You'd be
Mike. I think you would save a couple, honestly.
More than
what's
one.
The number? I'll say Mike will save one, but
I'd give him 3.
You're insane. Yeah, you're trying to get
here's my reasoning though. I've seen a lot of these videos growing up. Like I think Bauer just released one with Macklin Celebrini and like cement his goal. The thing is, what?
Make a win.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
No, it was funny, dude.
The thing is, these guys, like, no, you're not an NHL goalie, so they'll try to do some like extra shit, like too much, and like it'll just be like easy to save if they don't pull it off like the right way. Obviously, they're gonna make you look stupid. Like,
Well, that's the thing is I'm not talking like they know.
but you're talking about legit like shootout, like
Yeah, like they yeah.
then I'd give you one.
The odds are against me, but I think I'll go aggressive goalie. I'll dive at him. Like if it was Patty Kane, like I've watched enough of his highlights. I know his moves. I know what he's gonna do. I'll just take his legs out. He's probably gonna get 9, but I think I can get 1. But if you're talking being in a game, like what JB was just saying, I would get fucking lit up because it's all the movement. Like they would just, and the shot.
What do you think the total would be? Because you have an NHL team in front of you. So
Yeah,
do you think it would be over 10?
Yeah.
10 goals against.
Dude, I used to dude, in like
Dude, the thing is though, like they've had like these emergency goalies like come in and like they made like, I mean, one of them, the guy that played against Toronto, like got a shutout. Like he didn't let
those guys are practicing with NHL guys. So like they're kind of more used to it. I'm playing men's league once in a blue moon. I would just be tight. Like I wouldn't stretch before I'd get ripped apart. I know that.
I don't know. I don't know.
You think I'd have a better? Well, hey, dude,
I think the boys in front of you would help you out a lot.
JB, it'd be like that game in Raynham.
Oh God, dude, that was the closest game I've ever felt to playing in the NHL. That was crazy, dude. And the guys were 60 years old, dude.
Yeah, they were legitimately they were like 50, Jake. And the thing is, our team was terrible, and they were just the puck movement. They had chemistry. 100% chemistry. It was nuts. And I got torched. So 60-year-olds, granted my defense wasn't NHL level, but
I was trying. I gave you everything I had. It was all left out there.
It definitely was. Took a couple penalties too that you're sitting in the box, but it's all good. All right. What else we got here? Any points from you guys? Any takeaways? I mean, I have a couple things, but I'd be interested.
No, I mean, I think we've hit on pretty much everything so far from the series. I mean, it's just going to be really this next game. I guess we'll see what it turns out to be. But you have questions about this series, Mike? What were you about to bring up?
I got something. If
yeah,
I mean,
we talked Marchand. I wanted to talk about him, and I just feel like it has a lot of Bruins fans mixed. So then some Bruins stuff and some other quick stuff. But Jake, yeah, what do you have?
I want to know what you guys think the biggest key thing you need from the Oilers to like bounce back here. Like,
it's a good question, because that was kind of what we talked in the Leaf series too. It's like, do you think that they have to? Because they got chippy last night, and obviously the game was already out of hand. But it's like, do you think they should fight back, or do you think they should just focus on their game? Right? Like that's kind of the question. Or what are you asking again? Sorry, like the X factor.
It's like top guys need to produce more depth. For me, I'm saying the depth was abysmal in Game 3. Like it was non-existent. Like the Oilers have looked on those depth guys and they've done it the whole playoffs. And last night they just disappeared. Might as well have been in the fucking locker room because it was bad.
I agree with that. I like with depth. It's definitely just like, yeah, it's tough. I mean, depth is definitely the biggest thing. I don't want to see, though, like, Mike, you kind of brought it up a little bit, but I don't want to see them really try to push back with, like, physicality, because I think that only opens up more risks in a sense. Like, I don't know if that's really Edmonton's game, so I think depth is going to be the big thing. And I think just, like, puck possession too. Like they need to limit where Florida's getting the puck and how they're getting the puck. Like we saw it a couple times. It was later in the game, but I believe it was. I might blender this. I don't know if it was Jake Wallman who walked the blue line on that play, and they passed it through the middle, and it got picked.
Bennett's goal. That was the guy that Bennett rocked. It was Pod Colson.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's always a tough play. Obviously, he just got his bell rung, but I don't know. It's just being smarter with the puck. Florida's a team, you can't give them anything, and that's what happened. They were giving up the puck way too easily. So I think I'm agreeing with you, Jake. I think depth is a big thing. We brought up Nugent Hopkins. Seems like he might be fighting an injury, but they got to get those guys scoring. I mean, Freddie's got to try to pull one in and land on a goalie, maybe elbow Bobrovsky in the back of the head or something.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this because it kind of reminds me of a few things too. Yeah, their counterattack is incredible. So I think the first goal is going to be huge. Like an early start. Game 1, they had the first goal. They ended up trailing by 2 at some point somehow. But the Panthers, like, they thrive on that lead. Were we talking about it before, or did we hit record the stat about 31?
No, we talked about it.
Oh yeah. So you got to get an early one against them, and I think they just got to settle. They got to settle in, like you said, better puck management. Obviously, their depth has to step up. McDavid and Draisaitl have to step up. I mean, they have to go off. Trent Frederic. Somebody needs to step up. Like that Hyman injury is huge, right? I mean, how many hits did we talk about that earlier in the podcast or other podcasts?
Yeah, he had over 100 in the playoffs.
He had more hits than he had in the regular season in the playoffs. So
yep.
He was a dog, and he was in the series last year. So that's a massive loss. Evander Kane, we talked about as an X factor, and I think he is, but he's got to figure out how
Stop
to
taking penalties, dude.
Yeah, without being in the box and without just being angry. Like the Panthers do it intentionally. Like they get in your head and they piss you off. Like the Marchand clip where he's like, "We're in your head," you know, and the Gadjevich, like you guys see him put his tongue out after that fight with Nurse. Yeah. So I just think they got to kind of like emotionally settle down and come out and just be dialed in. I think they will be with McDavid, and I think he'll lead them into that.
One more question for you boys before I let you run, Mike. Do you guys think McDavid needs to start shooting the puck a little bit more? Because I've kind of been seeing that. Like he's making some great plays, but like I feel like he's not shooting it enough. He's trying to facilitate a little bit too much. I want to see him start ripping it a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't specifically noticed it. I wouldn't disagree with you. I would say, just as like a response to that, is I think the Panthers are all over him, and sometimes he is forced to just distribute the puck. Like there was a play where he came over the blue line and had 3 guys on him and somehow made a drop pass to his defenseman and like managed to keep possession. They're going to double cover him. He almost has to pass. But no, I would agree to a degree though, right? Like sometimes just throw it at the net. Like if you're passing too much, everyone's going to think you're passing, and they're going to kind of take advantage of that.
Yeah, he definitely like kind of takes what they give him, but I don't know. I saw a couple instances in that game 3 where it almost looked like he was trying to do a little too much, which is I don't even feel comfortable saying because he is Connor McDavid and he can pull rabbits out of his ass.
We're talking about it.
But like there was a couple ones where I'm like, I'd like to see him shoot it there. But yeah, that's all I got. If you have an opinion on that, JB.
I mean, I pretty much agree with Mike, and you said it. I think he's pretty much taking what they're giving him. But it's never dumb to just throw a puck on net. I mean, we've seen so many just goals that bounce off a feed or get redirected in. So it's never a bad idea to toss it over there. But I don't know. I think this is a huge test for them. It's a big test for McDavid, and see if he can rally those guys and Because we could be having such a different conversation if they go and tie this up.
100%.
You know,
I was just thinking that.
I think a lot of the conversations we're having right now is, and rightfully so. I think we're from the fan perspective too. We're playing devil's advocate, but thinking Oilers fans how they're probably feeling and what the team might be thinking. But they go out and win this next game. I mean, now
They're tied.
You're going back home. If they can win that game at home, I mean, it's going to be. Who knows what's going to happen? So I think we just got to wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking that, though, same thing. I mean, we shouldn't overreact too much. I mean, obviously, when you get pumped like that, it's like, whoa. Because there's questions now about goaltending. Do you guys think that they're going to go back to Skinner? I personally would, just because when you throw a backup in that position, I don't know if he's going into the next game super confident. I'd probably stay with Skinner, but
I think they go with Skinner.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I think it's Skinner's net right now. They didn't play that.
If he has another stinker, then they go to Pickard. But
they just had a miserable night, right? It was a night from hell. I mean, Skinner had a delay game penalty in the third period too. And then they scored, and then they pulled them. It's just like, Jesus Christ. Like, that was a game from hell. They looked embarrassed. They tried to fight. They kind of got even more embarrassed in those fights. You guys saw Jake Wallman try to spray the bench with a water bottle.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
See Brian Boucher, dude. I thought he was going to give it to him.
I love
banging on the glass, dude.
Dude, Boucher was mean mugging him on that. He looked like he was just pissed. He's like, what the fuck? Stop. You're getting me wet. I'm soaking my suit right now. So tough look for the Oilers, but they can definitely bounce back. We got the game Thursday. So I just don't want to see the Panthers win. I wouldn't hate it, but I definitely don't want to see them win in a gentleman's sweep or 6 games here. Let's get 7. Let's have this be a remarkable story. That's what I'm
going 7, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we all predicted, I think, right? What were our predictions? Was it all Oilers in 7?
I think we did.
Love that. All right. Well, yeah, we'll see. And let's just a couple things about the league, the Bruins. Marco Sturm got hired. Pete DeBoer got fired. Brock Nelson re-signed. Any thoughts on any of those things, either of you?
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead, JB.
No, go ahead. You're the leader on this podcast. It's cool.
Jesus. I like the Marco Sturm hire. From what I've heard, he's very good with young talent, which I think is huge for us, especially with all the young guys that we are kind of looking to get over the hump here. Kind of got a lot of guys treading from NHL to AHL. So I think that could be huge if he could get those guys to really adapt an NHL game. And then the Peter DeBoer thing, I just want to say I kind of called that, talking about that last pod. Might be a little bit of a wild move, but I understand it. I think obviously that is completely falls on his decision he made with Ottinger. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Not completely, though, because I think part of it was like they haven't got out of the 3rd round. I think that was the cherry on top, though, for sure.
I think it's all.
Maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is. I can see that too. That was a bad ending.
I mean, you can't really fire a guy for making it to the conference finals 3 years in a row. Like, yeah, they lost everyone, but like,
yeah.
So.
Do you think, like, in that case, Rod Brindamore is probably going to be on the chopping block soon? They do that again?
No, that's honestly a good counterpoint to what I just said, because I just don't know if that team. I don't know.
I mean, I wasn't even really disagreeing with you. I'm kind of in the middle. I think obviously that was an impact, but I do think you get to a point where it's like you've been in the spot multiple years. Maybe a new voice is needed in the room to get more out of those guys or different system plays. But back to your original question, Mike, I would bring up kind of the Marco Sturm thing. Listen to the presser. I've heard a couple different like podcasts just about it. It seems like the Bruins are going more in a way of having a coach grow with this team. Seems like they're kind of resetting the playing field, and agree with you, Jake. I have heard some stuff just about how he's done good with like the younger guys. He was the coach of what team? Germany.
He did
Right?
did well,
So
and he
yeah,
coached.
it seems
Silver
like
medal, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like wherever he's been, he's been able to do pretty well. And I don't know if either of you listened to the presser from today, but something that he brought up that I thought was kind of interesting was he was just talking about his family, and that he's actually been away from them for like 6 years, which I'm not. Obviously, he's seen them and everything. It's not like he hasn't seen his kids in 6 years, but it just goes to show like the commitment he has to being a coach and really starting from the bottom and moving his way up. Like, you know what I mean? He's been with an NHL team. He's spent time in the A. So I think he's going to be good for where the Bruins are at right now. Something I wanted to ask you guys, because I heard I was listening to Poke the Bear. Shout out to our boys over there, Evan Marinofsky and what's the other one's name?
Connor Ryan.
Bulldog. Yeah, so it was actually Evan, I think, was bringing it up. And the question was kind of just to the sense of like, do you think Marco Sturm is just a filler for the time being until they get back to a spot of being like a true contender? Or do you think that they're looking at this as more of like a Bruce Cassidy that you could see him with this team for a long time?
I think it's like a Bruce Cassidy, personally. Yeah. I don't think you'd hire a guy solely to be a filler. I do think they want to get back into contention very soon. I believe that. And I only believe it because it's money. Like, I mean, I think the leadership and management want to see the team do well, but they don't want to rebuild. They don't want a 4 or 5 year retool or rebuild. Nobody wants that. So yeah, no, I'm happy with it. I didn't hear much about like his work with young players, except for the fact that he was working in the A. Surprised that he was away from his family. Where are they, in Germany?
He honestly, I don't know. He quickly brought it up in that presser just about it was really just getting at like the commitment. Like his dream post like his playing career was to become a coach.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I heard Sweeney say something about like he was really impressed with how much he had a passion for it, which I think is very important. I mean, it's a pretty important job. I had heard a little bit just about like how he coaches, and I liked it. I mean, it was kind of a while ago, but just his approach just to the game. I think we've seen a lot in the playoffs the last couple of years, and obviously that's how you're trying to build your team, is so they're good in the playoffs because everyone's trying to win the cup. And what the Panthers are doing, it's not like a run and gun. It's a very simple strategy, and it's 4 lines that just kind of all do it, and you're just dogs to play against. And I think that he wants to build a team like that. So, and he's a good communicator and seems like a friendly guy. You got a lot of young players, and this league kind of, a lot of times you got to change the way you get your message across, even though maybe Paul Maurice looks like an angry guy. I think he's a great communicator. So I think you want to model a little bit after that, and that's where the game's going. It's where it is. So I like it too. I'm a big fan of bringing him. I also said to you, I think, JB, that he just reminds me of in NHL, like the video game, they don't have licenses to use the coaches and their faces. He kind of looks like a created coach that doesn't exist. So
I think they switched that now, though. I'm pretty sure they have the coaches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that was one of the updates from this past year. I think they were able to get the majority of the licenses from like teams and agents.
Funny, because I don't think I've played one play now game as the Bruins or anything.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like your stock build. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the loadout. Yeah, one thing too, just to add on to that really quick, He mentioned too just about like not coaching philosophies, but just his thoughts on coaching and like temperament. And it made me think of it just because you brought up the ability to work with younger guys and how the league is changing and everything like that. And they asked him, the question I think was there a coaching style that you liked? And if there was, like, who were the coaches that you tried to at least take some of, the lessons that you learned from them and you would apply here? And he named, it was Daryl Sutter was one of them, and obviously Claude Julien. In both of them, he mentioned just how you need to respect the game, which I liked. It was kind of like you need to play hard. You need to play for the city in a sense, which is pretty much like you were saying, like get back to that more of a hard-nosed hockey, simple meat and potatoes style of hockey. So I'm excited to see that from him. But yeah, I don't know, Jake, did you mention anything, or you started us off with Marco? So you have anything to add, or you all set with that?
I mean, I'll comment on your question about if it's like Bruce Cassidy. Yeah, I think they definitely didn't bring him into like for a short-term thing. The idea is to have him have success with this team and stay for a while. So definitely would say it's pretty similar to Bruce Cassidy. Kind of came in from an AHL role. Obviously, he wasn't an intern in the organization coaching prior, but I definitely think I see this working out. I do. I don't know. Obviously, that was the idea with Montgomery too, but
I mean, that went pretty well for about.
It did, but a 3-year stint it wasn't really what we were expecting.
Yeah, he did all right the next year too. That year was almost like it was like they were just riding the high. Like they all wanted to be good again so bad, and of course the Panthers then beat them again and won the cup.
There's also just a ton of pressure on it, right? I mean, like if this doesn't, like we said, it's gonna work out. If this doesn't, you got to think that front office is getting blown up.
Yeah, but I also don't think there's as much of a rush on this now because I think the expectations have changed. Like they're not going out to win the cup next year, and I think that if they make the playoffs, that's a win in their eyes almost. Like if they lose in the second round with what they've done and how much younger they've got. So I think I agree, but I think it might be like 4 years of failure before they go, oh shit, we got to change this, But Marco Sturm was a meat and potatoes player. He was defensively responsible. He was in that trade for Joe Thornton that the Bruins kind of got another trade the Bruins got swindled on. But
yeah, but they won the cup a couple years later. So like,
well,
worked out. What?
No. When was that trade? Like 2006?
I thought it was in 2008, but that seems late. So
yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, because he wasn't even on that team, was he?
No, he wasn't on the Stanley Cup team.
Yeah.
They got the first overall pick. He was the first overall pick, right?
Thornton, yeah.
Yeah, in like
2099, I believe.
99.
Or no, it was either 99 or 2000.
I think it might have been 99. But either way, I think it was a few years, so it might have been early 2000 that they traded him. So they struggled for a bit, and then they kind of revamped. But yeah, Sturm was on that 2008 team that made a decent little playoff run. But I'm excited about that.
Oh, it was in 2005 they traded him.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so 6 years later, yeah, not horrible.
Yeah. It's a decent transition because we just said Joe Thornton. One of the things I had written down was the Hall of Fame. I'm curious what you guys think about what, there's a lot of trophies in the NHL that there's debates about like what the requirements are. And it's a little weird. Like the Norris, a lot of people are like, oh, they just give it to the top offensive defenseman. But what do you guys think about the Hall of Fame? Like, do you think that if a guy like, say, Joe Thornton, I think he's in the Hall of Fame, would you keep that, or would you keep it to a smaller list of players than what they do, or would you even expand it? Jakey Poo?
Give me like
Berg?
an example of a player that you think's like on the fence, and I'll give you an answer to that.
How about that? I'll just run a couple. Joe Thornton.
Is he not already in?
Well, I'm saying, like, forget what they're actually doing, but would you put him in? He never won a cup.
I would. He's like top 20 in points, and I think he has a heart. Yeah,
Okay.
I would put him in.
Okay.
So I guess my answer would be yes.
Sam Bennett.
No, not Sam Bennett.
What about a guy like that, though, who's like a dog in the playoffs and wins like 2-3 cups, but his point totals are not there?
You know, this is actually a conversation I had several years ago with my cousin. And
Get him on the
this
pod.
is an interesting player to have this conversation with because I think he's the perfect player to talk about this with. Chris Kunitz won 4 Stanley Cups, played crucial roles on each of them, but he doesn't exactly have those accolades to bolster himself into that ballot. So, like, what do you guys think on that?
My opinion would be kind of similar to yours. I think you're almost like, I would put him in there because I think you have to weigh different things. I think a guy like Joe Thornton should be in there, but I also think a guy who is more of a clutch performer should be in there too.
Yeah, I think it's like if you don't win a cup, like the exception is having just unbelievable stats to back it up, or other trophies that you've won, whether it's the Hart or whatever it is. But I don't know. I just think if you step back from the question and just think about the NHL and what the actual goal is every single year, it's to win a Stanley Cup. And I do think that there needs to be weight on that because we've had this conversation multiple times. You're talking about Sam Bennett and what type of a player you would want on your team, in your organization. And it's like, I don't really care about the points. Like, I think at the end of the day, if he's a guy that can walk away from his NHL career with 3 cups, 2 cups after this year, who knows? Like, I don't know. I just think there's more weight, I think, that should be on winning a Stanley Cup rather than really like just the individuals like accolades that they have. So that's my thought process. I see both sides as well. I just think I lean more on the winning the cup thing. I don't know. I think there's more to that, and it should be respected. And I don't know if there's a higher honor than getting inducted into the NHL Hall of Fame. But
yeah, I mean, the Chicklets guys were talking about, I was listening to it at work a little bit, that you're kind of paid for the regular season nowadays. So, I mean, that's even an interesting question, is Mitch Marner. Like, if he finishes his career on his pace for points, but never wins a cup and retires in Anaheim and is never that player. Yeah, right? So it's not just points.
Nope.
And it's not just cups, but I think you do have to be a really important player to win at least 1 cup or 2 cups. Like, when you're talking multiple, you could be a 4th liner like Pat Maroon, but would you put Pat Maroon in the Hall of Fame?
No.
3 straight cups? No.
put him in there, dude. I'll write his name on
I
the
say,
ballot.
it's like John Scott. When John
That's
Scott
ludicrous.
went into the All-Star game, it's like, dude, he put on a miracle run for 3 years.
Yeah, he did. But I think those teams.
How about this? Mitch Marner or Pat Maroon? Who's going in the Hall of Fame?
Pat Maroon, dude.
Easily.
You're not on this podcast if you have another answer.
I mean, I would go Pat Maroon on that one, but it doesn't change the fact that I don't think Pat Maroon should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Hot takes here.
I don't know.
I say put him in. But speaking of that,
Pat, but
yeah, Road Hockey Warrior. I did see some stuff. I don't know if you saw this about like Mitch Marner and where he's going to go. And there was one thing that said the Panthers are expected to make a strong push at Mitch Marner. And I just thought that was the funniest thing in the world.
I saw that, and I just like, can't see that. Imagine they sign him and just turn him into a dog. Like what? Like how fucking pissed would Toronto fans be?
They lose to the Panthers.
Like
With
they just
Sam
turn him
Bennett.
into Sam Bennett 2.0 that scores 100 points in the regular season. Like
Yeah,
And he's like running guys on Toronto too.
yeah.
he's burying Nylander. Yeah, I mean that's why I brought it up, because I just thought it was funny. Like imagining the Panthers with the way they've built their team making that decision makes no sense. I think it's made up, but it's a funny hypothetical to picture the Leafs paying Sam Bennett $12 million and Marner going to Florida.
That's like a I can fix her like moment. Like if the Panthers signed him.
Yeah,
But I feel like that's like a scenario where they can't sign Ekblad, they can't sign Bennett. It's like, all right, let's take a run at Marner here. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I feel like you could probably get those two for like $1 million, $2 million more than Mitch Marner, which you
Yeah, definitely. But I mean,
it'd be a nightmare, is what you're saying. A nightmare.
Yeah. If they walk, then I could see them going the other route, but I don't know.
Yeah. Any other guys you guys like noticed in the series? Either way, maybe as being bad or as being good. Mine was Gustav Forsling. He kind of reminds me of Yarmelson, that guy on those Chicago teams. Just really good skater and excellent stick. Like if you're a D-man and you want to watch a guy, he's one of the best, and he's not a big name. He's not super offensively skilled, but really effective. So anyone for you guys?
Yeah, I just had one in my head and I forgot it. Go ahead, JB. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I really like have one either way. We already brought him up earlier. Evander Kane, I mean, I think he could be an X factor in the negative way if he cannot figure it out. Like he can't be taking penalties the way he is. So I'm going with a negative effect instead of a player that's had more of a positive effect. But
That's a good call. You might even be able to give a couple guys on the Oilers a negative right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Corey Perry. I think Corey Perry's been great, and like he was the one bright side in that game 3 for the Oilers. I mean, did you guys see his goal? Like I thought that was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, very heads up play to grab that puck that was going on net, and just even to get it over the pad there was very impressive. Like normally, it's hard to get that puck up in that situation. Looks easy, but when you're in the exact moment, like it's hard to get that puck over a pad there. So yeah, he's got to keep it up for them to win.
Yeah, it's a good call. He's in his 5th straight final, is it?
Yeah, I believe
Maybe
so.
not straight. Maybe not straight final, but something like that.
Oh
So
yeah, the only one he wasn't in was the Vegas, Florida one.
Okay, true. Yeah, so that's a good call. He definitely wants it. So we'll expect a good performance from that whole team, and they're in the final. Like they can't go out like this. Still very early. Yeah, guys, I don't think I have.
Would that be a record to lose 5 straight finals in a row, or like obviously not back-to-back years, but like very close. But
I wonder what player has the most finals losses.
LeBron.
That's crazy. Let me see. NHL player with the most.
Might be Corey Perry, honestly.
It honestly might.
Or a player from like 100 years ago.
Yeah, I think it is him.
Perry?
Yeah, I think he might be tied. There's some old guy. I've never heard of these other names, but Bruce McGregor, Jerry Melenick, Regis Kelly, Brian Propp, Norm Ullman.
Regis Kelly. Wasn't that the guy on the TD Bank commercials? Or no, it was Regis and Kelly. Never mind.
That's a funny poll right there, though, because you actually had me convinced for a sec. But yeah, I don't know. Unless you guys have anything else, I don't think I have anything else for this. It's going to be fun. Oh, you know what else? I did want to mention that, I've talked about the podcast. We had 3 listeners. We had 4 listeners. Do want to have an announcement. I do have an announcement to make, is that we've actually cracked the double-digit threshold for listeners. So couple clicks for the boys.
I'm clicking here. I'm clicking
For the geniuses.
I think Mike, that's a good point. I think we throw it over to some of the listeners on, if it is like YouTube, that they check it out there, like to start giving some feedback. Maybe we start asking some stuff that they want to hear, questions that maybe we can run a poll on Instagram. Maybe even for this series, get some feelers out there. See what people are thinking about the series and if there's any hot takes.
It's a good call. Yeah. Anything we missed in this podcast, because there probably is going to be something that we all noticed and didn't mention. We talked Trent Frederic. We talked to him before the pod started. He's maybe not that guy.
Too nice.
Maybe too nice.
I think we talked about it on here, though, boys, honestly.
No, I don't think so. I think we mentioned it quickly, but we had a few minutes before we talked about him not being that guy. I don't know how in that clip with Bennett, he broke his stick on his back, punched him in the back of the head, and then ends up getting landed on and thrown more punches. So that's the Panthers in a nutshell. And we are rooting against them actively. But without really being an Oilers fan, it's a hell of a series, right? I mean, this has just been fun. So, yeah. Anything else?
Nah, that's all I got.
Nothing. All right, that's that. That is gross. Episode 10. Signing off. See you, boys.
Peace.
See you guys.
Ew, gross! Why did you say ew, gross? Because Rusty loves me. Ew, gross! If anyone finds out I got a love letter from that doofus, I'll die.